Diplomacy is the practice of conducting negotiations between individuals, groups, or states. At its core, it is about communication, persuasion, and finding common ground. In the context of international relations, diplomacy refers specifically to the peaceful interaction between states. States use diplomacy to manage their relationships, advance their interests, and resolve differences without resorting to conflict. Diplomacy encompasses a wide range of activities, from formal negotiations and treaty signings to informal meetings and cultural exchanges. It is a complex and ever-evolving field that requires a deep understanding of history, culture, politics, and international law. Diplomacy is often called an art because it demands creativity, adaptability, and a nuanced understanding of human behavior. Skilled diplomats build trust, identify shared interests, and find mutually acceptable solutions to complex problems. In essence, diplomacy is the art of peaceful power. It is the means by which states can pursue their interests and resolve their differences without resorting to force or coercion. The success of diplomacy in averting war is undeniable. While history is replete with examples of conflict, countless potential conflicts have been averted or de-escalated through diplomatic channels. The 20th century alone provides compelling evidence of diplomacy's triumphs. The creation of the United Nations after the devastation of World War II stands as a testament to the international community's commitment to peaceful conflict resolution. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, where the world teetered on the brink of nuclear war, was ultimately resolved through diplomacy and back-channel negotiations. It is impossible to quantify the number of lives saved and conflicts averted through diplomacy. However, the relative peace enjoyed by much of the world since 1945, despite the existence of nuclear weapons and other existential threats, speaks volumes about the power of diplomacy. The success of diplomacy is not limited to preventing wars. It also plays a crucial role in addressing global challenges such as climate change, poverty, and infectious diseases. These transnational issues require international cooperation and coordination, which can only be achieved through sustained diplomatic engagement. Diplomats are the key players in the world of international relations. They are the individuals tasked with representing their state's interests abroad and managing their country's relationships with other nations. Diplomats come from diverse backgrounds, but they share a commitment to diplomacy's principles and a deep understanding of international affairs. Ambassadors are the highest-ranking diplomats, serving as their country's official representatives in foreign capitals. They are responsible for managing all aspects of their country's relationship with the host country, including political, economic, and cultural ties. Envoys are diplomats appointed for specific missions or tasks. They may be sent to negotiate treaties, mediate disputes, or participate in international organizations. Diplomats also work in consulates, which are located in major cities around the world and provide services to citizens of the sending country. Consular officials issue visas, provide assistance to citizens in distress, and promote trade and cultural exchange. Regardless of their specific roles, all diplomats share a common set of skills: strong communication and negotiation skills, cultural sensitivity, and a deep understanding of international law and diplomacy's norms. Section 4. The 3 pillars of diplomatic work. Diplomatic work can be broadly categorized into 3 main functions: intelligence gathering, image management, and policy implementation. These functions are interconnected and essential for effective diplomacy. Intelligence gathering involves collecting information about the host country's political, economic, and social conditions. Diplomats gather information through a variety of means, including attending public events, cultivating contacts with local officials and experts, and monitoring local media. Image management, also known as public diplomacy, focuses on promoting a positive image of the sending country abroad. Diplomats engage in public speaking, cultural events, and media outreach to highlight their country's achievements and values. Policy implementation involves putting the sending country's foreign policy into action. Diplomats negotiate treaties, participate in international organizations, and advocate for their country's interests in the host country. The balance between protecting their state's interests and avoiding conflict with other states is a constant challenge for diplomats. They must be assertive in advancing their country's goals, but also willing to compromise and find common ground. Section 5. Diplomacy in the digital age. Modern communication technology has profoundly impacted diplomacy, transforming how diplomats communicate, gather information, and shape public opinion. The rise of the internet, social media, and instant communication tools has created new opportunities and challenges for diplomats. Instant communication allows for real-time coordination between diplomats and their home governments, enabling quicker decision-making and crisis response. Social media platforms provide new avenues for public diplomacy, allowing diplomats to reach broader audiences and engage directly with foreign publics. However, these technological advancements also present challenges. The speed of information flow in the digital age increases the risk of misunderstandings and escalations. The spread of misinformation and disinformation online poses a significant challenge to diplomats, who must navigate a complex and ever-changing information landscape. Despite these challenges, technology has undeniably enhanced diplomacy's effectiveness. It allows for greater transparency, facilitates communication, and empowers diplomats to engage with a broader range of actors. Section 6. From bilateralism to multilateralism. The expanding scope of diplomacy. Traditionally, diplomacy was primarily a bilateral affair, conducted between two states. However, the increasing interconnectedness of the world has led to a rise in multilateral diplomacy, which involves multiple states working together to address shared challenges. The United Nations, the European Union, and the World Trade Organization are examples of multilateral organizations that play a crucial role in global governance. These organizations provide a forum for states to negotiate agreements, resolve disputes, and coordinate their actions on a wide range of issues. Multilateral diplomacy is essential for addressing transnational challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and terrorism, which cannot be solved by any one state acting alone. It also promotes a more rules-based international order, where states are bound by international law and norms. While bilateral diplomacy remains essential for managing state-to-state relations, multilateral diplomacy is becoming increasingly important in the 21st century. The ability to build coalitions, navigate complex negotiations, and find common ground among multiple stakeholders is crucial for effective diplomacy in a multilateral world. Section 7. Diplomacy, an evolving instrument for a changing world. Diplomacy is not a static concept. It is constantly evolving to meet the demands of a changing world. As the global landscape shifts, so too must the tools and tactics of diplomacy. The rise of new powers, the proliferation of non-state actors, and the increasing interconnectedness of the global economy are just some of the factors shaping the future of diplomacy. In this complex and rapidly changing environment, diplomacy remains as vital as ever. It is the only way to peacefully manage international relations, prevent conflict, and address the pressing global challenges facing humanity. The diplomats of the future will need to be adaptable, creative, and skilled in utilizing new technologies and communication channels. They must be able to navigate complex multilateral negotiations and build bridges across cultural divides. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, the importance of diplomacy, the art of peaceful power, will only continue to grow. It is through diplomacy that we can build a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world for all.